Oh, no. What? Facebook is giving me a little issue. Let's see. All right. So there's a purpose behind your pivot. We're back for another edition of Ask Me How I Know with Danielle the Coach. And you guessed it, I'm Danielle, known socially as Danielle the Coach. I'm a former FBI analyst turned serial entrepreneur, and I've made it my business, pun intended, to help other six-figure earners make strategic, profitable, and purpose-driven career pivots of their own that honor who they are, the legacy they've already built, and most importantly, what it is that they're called to do next. Now, word on the street is that today's guest, Chante Ramsey, she's the CEO of Uplift to Thrive Consulting, that she has some serious insight on our topic for today. And I'm here for all of it. So at this point, I think it's only fair and right and time that we ask her exactly what she knows. Join me in welcoming Chante to Ask Me How I Know with Danielle, the coach. It is a pleasure to have you here, Chante.
No, it's an honor to share this space with you. I've heard a lot about you, and through Black Barter, that's how we met.
Yes,
talk
yes,
about
it
talk about shifting and pivoting, and I was like, how do I connect with equally and passion-minded brands? And that popped
is.
up, and I was watching it. I got on the live, and you one of the people that were very vocal and just knowledgeable, and I was like, okay, I got to connect with her.
And I'm so glad you did.
Yes,
We
yes.
have people watching us. Let us know if you're here with us live. Let us know where you're joining us from. Say hey in the comments. If you have questions as we are conversing, drop them. If you have insights, Shantae drops bars, quote her, all of the
Yes.
things. And if you happen to be watching the replay, do us a favor and drop a comment and say replay, and we'll come
Mhm.
back through and show you some love as well. We're thankful. Oh, Jersey City is in
Yes,
the house.
yes.
Jersey is holding it down. I
Yeah,
love to see it. All right, so let's dive in. So
yeah.
Shantae, I gave a brief intro into
Mhm.
who you are and the name of your company. Would you share a little bit more with us about who you are and what you do?
So I'm by origin a creative. So I started out, my mom, she loved the arts. We're from New York City, born and bred, and so she wanted us to express ourselves. So the first thing I did was dancing, writing, you name it, photography. And so I parlayed all of that creativity into the businesses that I do. Like so I'm a brand photographer, then I had to pivot during the pandemic and try to see how I can best support businesses in a more meaningful way. And so that's how Uplift to Thrive came about. And so I'm a strategic planner, analyst, a guide, a little bit of a Yoda, but not quite. And like professionally, I'm in my background is in accounting, and I'm also like the operations guru. So anything dealing with your building, dealing with like your budget, dealing with like okay event planning, I help to make sure that things continue to happen even with when there's like kinks in the process.
You know, Shantae, you are a fellow multi hyphenate like
Yes.
self. To an untrained eye, someone might say that people like us are all over the place. We are
Hmm.
multi gifted, we are multi talented, and we are
Yes.
multi hyphenated.
Yes. Yes.
We do lots of things lots of things well. And I think conversation at some point too. But I want you to know from one multi hyphenate to another, I see you, I
Yes.
am you, and I'm rooting for you because it's rough out here for us.
It is, it is, it is, because 'cause you're like the go-to to, like, how do I do X? Whatever that X is, even though you're
Yeah,
not a tech person, but you know some things. You know how to get around, you know how to problem solve, and that's a strength that we have. We're able to be nimble and navigate through the change, through the ebbs and flows of, having a business or managing a team. And that is really hard to do. That is really complex. You have the personalities, you have the external conditions, you have, the transitions within the team. And so how do you balance all that without you going crazy, without you losing your sanity?
that part,
Yes.
right? So Shante, what makes you you? We just heard like how skilled and talented you are, and that you have a wealth of expertise in a number of different lanes. You are yet another, what I've adopted from somebody else, a Swiss Army knife, if you
Yes,
will.
yes,
Okay,
that's a good, yeah.
professional Swiss Army knife. But with all of that, right? What makes you you, and how does that show up in the work that you do through Uplift to Thrive?
I believe, like, I lean into my clarity cultivation. So if and if I know that they have the heart, they have the passion, but they are in the weeds of things, they're not sure how to think it through. That's when I'm like, okay, let's step back, let's reflect, breathe, and try to take the best step forward. Let's talk about, this possibility, that possibility. I had a client, this first call, and she's very established brand. She's into skincare, so she started back in 2019, and she tried everything. So things that I threw at her, she's like, "Oh, I did that, I did that." And then I was like, "What about client retention? Where are you with that?" And she's like, "Oh, wait." I said, "Create an ebook. Create an ebook to show people how to use your products so that they have, because she does soup to nuts. So she goes from um, the cleanser to the moisturizer to the finish, like all the layers of the skin. So she's able to, all of her products are able to do that. And I'm like, that's wonderful, and that's not common. You be understand that skincare, some people only focus on problem issues, and some people only focus on moisturizer or toner, or like there's certain parts of the skin that they only focus on. She focuses on every layer of the skin. And I'm like, that is so unique. I'm like, why don't you do a step by step guide to bring people from the start, the first product of your brand, of your line, to the last part of this process, and that becomes something that they would start to implement in their daily routine. And she's like, "Oh, I never thought about that." I'm like, "That's actually something that I would want to use, because I have like 4 or 5 different products from different brands, and it's a pain in the butt, because what if one brand runs out or another brand discontinues? Then I'm stuck with an incomplete process." So I work with business owners to get them through the the cloudiness of their vision, and to see, like, what is something that you didn't try yet, or what is something that you are working towards but you haven't figured it out yet. So that's kind of like my strength. And also through my photography, that definitely was my strength, because I didn't want to take your money. I didn't want to do your shoot without realizing, oh, you actually don't know your business yet. So let's take a step back and talk about your business more, so I can try to do the best I can as an artist to capture it in the best way possible.
I don't think I told you this when we first had our kind of like intro call, and I think
Mhm.
I didn't tell you this on purpose because I
Oh,
wanted to save it for now. But
okay.
I too am a photographer. For
I didn't know
my
that.
very first business, which I actually still have, is a
Yeah.
photography business,
Oh,
and
nice,
I have
nice.
morphed over the years and dabbled
Yeah.
in this kind of photography and that kind of photography. But when you first said that, I'm like, what is happening right now? Like we have entirely too much in common to have been
Yes,
perfect strangers.
yes.
So yeah, that photography will always have and
Oh
hold a
yeah.
special place
Oh yeah.
in my heart. I'm always intrigued about meeting other fellow entrepreneurs who have taken the time to create a brand and build their brand, promote their brand, market and
Mhm.
advertise their brand. But there is something that has to be unique about all of us. And most times it starts with the name of our brand.
Yes.
What is the story behind the name Uplift to Thrive?
I went, well, as you know, you go through like a dozen names. They don't stick. They're like, oh, I don't like that. And I was fortunate to have someone, it was a freelancer, and he ran out of business, but he was like, you need to really think through the impacts. And then that was the last conversation we had. And I was like, oh,
Mm,
yeah, that is a good point. So I kept, and I have a thesaurus because I'm also a writer. So I have like a thesaurus, a dictionary, a wordplay type book where I'm just like playing with words. And I'm like, what is it that I want to do? And it was in the clarity that came to me was I want to be that person that I needed to be when I started as a photographer. I was getting gigs, but I was doing, you know, the parties, the bacchanals, the carnival parties, the late night things. And I was also doing headshots, and I was all over the place. And had I
mhm,
not had a person to say, stop, what do you really love to do? What are you drawn on? And fashion, that was my thing. Came along later, but had I not had some, I wish I had someone like that in the outset to focus my business on what is it that I wanted to do. So Uplift to Thrive came about with I wanted to elevate businesses, so uplift them, and then I want them to sustain and be legacy builders. So I want them to thrive and sustain themselves. So Uplift being that bridge to this sustainability. Growing up in Brooklyn, growing up, going to Harlem, you see all these black businesses that are no longer.
mm,
They don't exist anymore because they fail to sustain their legacy. They fail to have that parachute to be able to go to their plan B to say, okay, how, like, I'm going through this financial struggle. How can I maybe partner with another brand? How can I find some other funding? There's so much funding from the city. If you're minority certified, you can get access to. So having that other person to be that thought partner and say, hey, let's kind of pivot this way. Let's go this way. Let's try this. Let's take this risk so that you don't have to give up your business. You don't have to give up your baby, your passion, your purpose.
mhm.
So that's really what I'm focused on. That's how I came up with the name, and it just stuck.
Got stuck, stuck
Yes.
in the chuck.
Yes.
So I know that you have the background in photography and now you're in the consulting space. We're talking businesses of your own, right? Not just your
Mhm,
professional resume and expertise. But what is common for entrepreneurs to dabble in multiple businesses over time?
mhm,
And case in point, you just talked about, some notable, Black-owned businesses that were once staples or once well known, have shuttered over the years, right? So
yes,
there is this dance that is quite normal and common in the entrepreneurship space, right? Like we
mhm,
get into it thinking, well, most people, some people have a short-term plan, right? But I think it's fair to say that most entrepreneurs get into it wanting to play the long game.
right.
And a long game indeed it is.
Yes, yes, it is,
It is
yes,
not
it is.
for the weak or the faint at heart, okay?
No, no, it is not, it is not. I could tell you, like, I would come up 3 or 4 o'clock knowing that I had a long day on my day job, and an idea will pop up, and I have to come down here because 'cause I'm in a house. I have to come down here and write it out and go on my little, that's why I'm, like, blurred because I have so much stuff on the walls, like, ideas that I have incomplete, but they're about to be completed, but it just pulls you. It's like a magnet,
Yeah.
and it's a good magnet. It's one that fuels you, and but you have to like know the balance, and that's where I gut check my clients, is to make sure, are you taking it easy, are you taking some wellness breaks, are you going away, are you, just decompressing, are you just taking your mind off of the business for just a little bit to give yourself some space to like breathe.
Chante, you said that so demurely. Oh, it's like a magnet, it just pulls you. Chante, if you ask me, it's like a vortex that sucks
Yes.
you in and doesn't let you go until it's ready.
That's the
Okay.
that's the poet. That's the poet saying it, but reality, what you said is actually more accurate. It's like
Oh
stop.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. But with that being said though, with it being so common for entrepreneurs to dabble in various businesses over time, like
hmm
what has been the breadth of your experience with that?
Um, it's a little challenging for me to balance between life and multiple businesses. It is
Yeah.
really hard to do. So you have to I do focus time. So I just try to like, okay, I'm gonna focus on Uplift to Thrive, and then this month I'll do something else with the photography business. I need to do the website. So I have to like really compartmentalize the time that
Mm-hmm.
between the two businesses in order for me to like continue forward. um it's hard, and then sometimes I take a like I did it last summer, I took a break from both of them to just be able to breathe, and to give myself space to be with nature. And I wish I was with nature now, somewhere in the Caribbean, but beach or somewhere. But that's neither here or there. But but you have to like balance it. I think the best way is to just schedule the times, in your week to your different businesses.
Got you. Got you. Of all of your pivots to date,
hmm
which one would you say has been the most defining?
I think the one I'm in right now, um, having to leave my home after 40 plus years, to go to another state, another community, to build bridges with those businesses out here. I'm in Jersey City. So that is oof, that is that's still a struggle. I still have to
Mhm.
like, I'm very spiritual, so I gotta pray. I gotta write my journal. Um, I gotta talk to my friends. Some of them are on live now, and say, "How did you do it?" Because some of them had to make big shifts like this, and that's another way, is to tap into your people, your network, your inner circle, and find out how did they get through their biggest pivot. Um, and you'd be surprised. You're all are going through it in different phases, different chapters. You're in the same story, but just different chapters. So losing my grandmother last year, um,
Condolences.
yeah, thank you. And after being her caregiver for so long and having to, it's just a lot. Like, but I'm so grateful and thankful for just being here, just being in this space and taking in all these opportunities and taking the risks. Like, there are things that I'm doing that I I didn't know that I could do, but I'm doing it. And I'm realizing that I've been doing it all along, but just never tapped into that skill and that part of me. So facilitation of workshops, I'm starting to do that now at schools in New York City. I didn't think that I could do it. I thought I needed another certification, another piece of paper, and I've been doing it for so long, in my jobs, in my different roles over the years, and not realizing it.
No, wait a minute, Shantae. You can't just gloss over that and I just turned the corner and the opportunity was there. Like, wait, set it up for us, Shantae.
Yeah.
So what? Okay, so right, you said this the most defining pivot that you've experienced is the one that you are the one that you are experiencing now. Like you got a commute, you're
Yes.
navigating, like juggling all of the things at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say has made this season feel the most disruptive or uncomfortable?
It's the moving. It's the saying goodbye to familiar faces and my home. That is the most like, ooh, I still think about it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But I did it though, but it was just so hard. And then sleeping here in an empty place,
Oh,
you're hearing all the creaks and sounds, the unfamiliar sounds, and I'm a scary son, and scary little girl. So
Scary
I'm
Spice.
like, yes, I'm like, what is that shadow? Oh, it's mine. Like, so I'm like realizing, oh, like this is a new space, a new place for me. And then I go back to the old house and it feels foreign because my home is where my heart is. My home is where all my stuff, I still have stuffed animals and my cat. Don't forget the cat. So my cat is here. So it's like, that's when I realized, like, okay, this is my new home and this is where I belong and this is where I create my space. I'm cooking, I'm baking. I just baked a cake this weekend. I'm not a newbie to this. I used to bake when I was a kid, so I'm tapping into that. I actually, but you have to make time for these things. That's the thing. I never stopped. I just stopped myself from doing those things. I never lost the edge. I never lost the knowledge. I just didn't create the time for it. And now that I
Mm,
have the time, so because when you are a caregiver, all of your time is with that person, going to the hospital, going to doctor's appointments, being at home with them and making sure that they're eating, they're taking their medication. It is a lot. You don't sleep. I wasn't the only one, but I was, mainly the one that she called. And so to not
mm,
have that, how do I occupy my time and into myself to pour into myself? And I'm like cooking, baking, doing some gardening when this stuff melts. That is what I'm realizing that I need to do, but it took a lot. It took a year for me to like get to this point now. And even then is a little struggle. Um and I just have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful inner circle, and I'm so blessed to
mm,
have them. A lot of them are my sisters, and they share their moms with me, and I'm like, this is amazing. And you need to, as an entrepreneur, as a woman of color, you need to have that, so that when you feel less than, or you feel questioning yourself, you have that group of people to just go to and say, "Hey, I need help," or "Let's go out. Let's go to the spa.
mhm.
Let's go to grab a cup of coffee. Let's go to the mall. Let's do something. Let's just go into your house and just watch a bunch of videos and talk about some crazy stuff."
That part. What
Mhm.
you said something that I think is kind of like a hard pill to swallow that you don't even know that you're required to until like you have laced up both shoes and you're on like mile number two and it's realizing that like when life happens and you're required to pivot, right? When you are uprooted from what was once comfortable and you're navigating this new seemingly foreign territory, the natural, I think, knee jerk gesture or reaction is you look up and you want to reach out and bring the people that were where you're pivoting from along with you or expect
Yes.
them to be nearby.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I know, even I speak for myself personally, that I had to learn when I was more of a novice at pivoting. I think I'm an expert at this
Oh
point
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
But it's like everybody won't go with you. Everybody can't go with you, and you're not no longer in the same space. So it's a bit unrealistic and unreasonable to expect for
Hmm.
that not to change as well, as much as we don't want it to.
Right.
Even it seems like, oh well, they're just a call away, or they're just a drive away. But there's something that happens that we can be completely honest. And I said this is going to be a real conversation. And I already know I can be keep it
Mhm.
real with you. You keep it real with me. But
Right.
sometimes when we change environments, relationships do change.
Mhm. Mhm.
Simply as a result of the catalyst being, maybe I'm the one that like I'm pivoting, right? So I'm no longer taking up the same space. I don't think that I've changed in heart.
Mhm.
I don't think that I've changed in love, but then there's this change in the relationship.
Yeah.
There's change in, access. There's change in the cadence in which we get to see each other and catch up. And some of those relationships do not transcend
Mm-mm.
the pivot.
Yeah. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I've all the pivots I've had when my mom died over 20 years ago, when I changed jobs, and especially with the change jobs, those are like the small pivots. It's like you lose that sense of community from that particular group of people. But there's some people I'm still friends with from 2 jobs ago. So I think it's communication. It's how
Mhm.
strong the bond is. Um and how are they going to be understanding? How are they able to comprehend what is happening in your life, that it doesn't mean that you value them less? It's because you're trying to adjust to what is happening.
Mhm. Mhm. And I think that goes to speaks volumes to the topic that we landed on for the conversation. Like there's a
Mm,
purpose
yeah.
behind your pivot. And I know I've learned this, I'll say the long way. I won't call it hard, just the long way. My purpose is mine and mine alone. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and there are people who I am here to impact using my God given gifts and skills and all of the things, people that I was put here to serve um, for a reason and in different seasons in different ways. And
Right.
so just recognizing how selfish I have been in at times where it's like, well, no, I want it this way. And
Mhm.
God is like, okay, you can do it your way and stay over there and be miserable and stuck with people that you know like and love. Or
Right.
you can do it my way and let me reposition you in a space where I need you and have you on assignment. And there are more people waiting to cross paths with you and do life with you. Not just that you're there to serve, but people that are similarly aligned. So you will not be by yourself in the way that you think that you might be, or the way that you're afraid that you might be.
Mhm.
And so I've learned that the long way as well. It's just like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but
Mhm.
when you do it, there are 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to meet other people along the way that are on a
Yeah.
similar trajectory. You don't expect to meet them,
Right.
and those might be the next set of people that you'll hold on to for dear life, and that will make it with you decades down the line as well.
Mhm.
So that when you said that, that really resonated, with me. And there's just the honesty and the transparency about like, okay, I did this thing, whether I chose to or whether I had to,
Mhm.
and now it's quiet around here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna say L word. It's lonely over here. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So I have to be intentional, like you said, about maintaining communication and contact and what have you for relationships' sake. And then you talked about your inner circle as well, and the support system in the
Yeah.
midst of a pivot. I see you shaking your head. Tell
Yes,
me
I
more.
mean, I man, I called them all kinds. I mean, especially when I was dealing with being a caregiver and not knowing. There's no book. There's no, and then there was one friend. I love her to death, Rachel. I think she called me because she felt she needed to call me. There was no specific reason, and I told her I broke down, and she was like, "Girl, I used to work at the Department of the Agent. I can help you." And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot." Because she switched 2 jobs. So I'm in her current stage, a current chapter, and not realizing and forgetting. So I also, it's the other part is reaching out for help. So it's tapping into that in a circle, but also not having to do it all alone. We're these strong, independent black women, and I'm like, you still need help. That's a lesson that my mom, before she passed, she blessed to me, but I never captured it. I always thought I had to do things alone. I'm not the only child, so I don't know where that came from,
Mm.
but I am the oldest. So
That was my question. You took it right.
so I'm like, I think because I'm the oldest, I felt like I had to shoulder the burden or the responsibility of taking care of my brother, or and we're not even that far apart. It was just making sure he was okay, making sure we're safe and all these things. And I took that to heart and through my life. And I'm like, wow, like I don't realize that, like, hey, I got these people, these wonderful, beautiful souls that they're not just there to listen to me, they're also there to help me as well. And so when I actually ask for help, I'm doing that more so now. I'm saying, hey, I need your help, or hey, I just need your ear, I need to vent. They were there for me, and I pulled them in different parts of the chapter with that, and
Mhm.
they were there through it, through the ups and downs, through the different difficult decisions, and also during my search for a new place. And I'm like, I wanted to be in Brooklyn, I wanted to stay in my home base, but I realized I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't meant for me. And now this place came, um, fell in my lap literally. That's that the close of that part of the chapter, but it was just like I had to lean on them for that support and realize that I'm stronger than I let myself believe. I am more stronger than the circumstances that befall me. And I'm leaning into my, the word, I'm leaning into my spiritual base, because that's where that has helped me throughout the years. Like, I'm always praying to him. I'm always saying, hey, like, I need some spiritual strength. I need some power from beyond to help me get through this. And a lot of times that power is within you and you don't even realize it.
You don't know how
No.
strong you are until
Absolutely
it's
not.
time to lift the weight.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness. I love, 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 love what you said about just even that conversation you were having with that person in your network or your inner circle,
Mhm.
and how they ended up being a resource that you didn't even realize that they could be. It was just the fact that you were open and sharing and not moving in isolation so much.
Mhm.
So one of the things that I talk about, so if you're new to me, I am author of The Six Figure Quitter, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Transitioning Out of Your 9 to 5 Without Regret. And one of the things I talk about in the book is there's a chapter called Put People on Notice. And for the very reason of the outcome that Chante just shared with us, you do not know who in your sphere of influence, they might not be your inner circle, but your sphere of influence that has the key to the door that you are getting ready to need to unlock. You never know. But one of the things that I know based on in the realm of the work that I do, helping, high earners, six-figure earners make the transition out of their 9 to 5 without regret, primarily into full-time entrepreneurship, it's such a taboo topic, is such a taboo behavior and action that most people do not want to even talk to it about people that don't get it because of the judgment and the opinions,
Mhm.
solicited and unsolicited.
Right.
And so it's common to go it alone and just kind of figure it out very and be very intentional, but also short with what you share and who you share it with.
Mhm.
And so one of the things I talk about in the book is like, while I understand that and I get it, and I think is necessary roughness, don't be so closed off to once you have an idea about like, okay, this is the direction that I'm going in now, like this is it. This is what I'm doing. Like, who needs to know?
Mhm.
Who must know? Because
Right.
there are some people that it could benefit you just by the sheer fact of them knowing where you're going. And there may be some needs that you know of, right? And
Mhm.
so you didn't go into that conversation with that person asking for what they ultimately could help you with, right? But there may be some instances where it's just like, hey, I'm getting ready to do this. Just a heads up. If you have any leads, you have any resources, please let me know.
Mhm.
And just sure enough, God could have told this person last night in their dream the answer to
Yay.
Well, you over here losing sleep about, but it's just
Mhm.
a matter of the network and
Yeah.
connection and community and being resourceful, right? And leveraging the contacts um, that most times that we don't even leverage in ways that we can and that people want us to. So
Right.
that's my
Right.
soapbox moment on that. But I'm so glad you shared that because I think that's an opportunity that is often missed just
Mhm.
because of ego and
Mhm.
pride, but also mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional fatigue. It's just like I'm already like barely getting by. I don't have time. I can't hear your mess, right?
Mhm.
Your opinions that's trying to keep me in a place that's no longer serving me because you don't have the capacity to understand what it is that I'm being ushered into that's bigger than me, even though I'm uncomfortable in this moment. So
Yeah.
um
You definitely have. You're so right. You definitely have to like be, use discernment in who you share tidbits of your that you're being clairvoyant. You're saying, okay, maybe this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going, but I'm not sure yet. Without judgment, um,
mhm,
and to give you some insight. So I don't have that many people that I do that with. Um, and that's on purpose. It's not to say I don't trust everyone. It's just that because if you're in a space that's unfamiliar, like you said, like your confidence is very low. The rejection level and like you can go like not in that direction just by someone saying the wrong word. And
mhm,
so you want to make sure that you have not, I'm gonna say the yes people, it's the thought people. It's the people that will give you some insight, a listening ear, without that judgment. Um, and that is key to like trying to move on. And sometimes you might not have that person, which is fine. And that's why I think people need to like really have a coach, have a mentor, have someone that is unbiased in like who you were before, because I think
mhm.
that also gets into the messiness is when you have people that you've known for a certain amount of time, and they
Yeah,
know you in your different stages of life, and they're comfortable with you being that old person, and when you trying to shift into a new direction, they're like, oh, I don't like this because it's not familiar to me, and I don't want you to go that way because then we're not going to be hanging out as much because you're going to be busy doing that business or that project or that thing. And they may indirectly, not even intentionally, actually push you into the direction that you're not supposed to go in because they don't feel comfortable.
right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. So this season that you're in, where you are um, literally navigating like the pivot, surviving the
Yes.
pivot.
Yes.
What would you say has made this season feel disruptive or uncomfortable?
Um, I think the inconvenience of the distance. So not
Mhm.
being able to get up and go get my roti, get my 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 bun and cheese and all these things that I'm so used to getting from my neighborhood. I can't do that anymore. Going to see my neighbor when we grew up together, or going
Mhm.
to different parts of the city. When I say city, I mean Brooklyn. Going to different parts of Brooklyn with by the hop of a bus or a train. Going to see my friends in Harlem. Like I can't just get up and go. There has to be a plan. There has to be a
Yeah,
schedule, and I do have lupus, so it's there's days when I just cannot move, um, and it's so hard to have that disruption, have that like I can't just go without there being a plan. And it's okay, but it is definitely very disruptive, and it's like
got it.
it's something for me to adjust to um on a day-to-day basis, especially now. Like we're stuck in the house because well we have 30 inches of snow outside. Like
Ah,
so we can't just go out there and just go to the mall or go to the city because the trains aren't running. So it's those things, those inconveniences. But then I look at it in the other side of the coin. Well, I'm home. I pay rent. I pay these utilities, so I better enjoy this luxury here, whatever you want to call it, and like and cook, clean, rest, read a book, um, and talk to you. Like
Go live with me.
yes, like these are the opportunities. Like use this time wisely because there's gonna be times when it gets warm, Shante gonna be in the streets again. So
Outside, Chante.
yes, outside Shante constantly.
What emotions have been most present for you as you
Um,
navigate this?
I think the grief
Mm,
and I wouldn't say loneliness, but it is. It is you feel lonely sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
When things are like super quiet and you want to occupy it with something. Um because yeah, my old, neighborhood, my upbringing was so loud and rambunctious and just something was happening and everything was open 24/7. Here things shut down early. It's really quiet in the neighborhood on a regular basis. So it's dealing with that quietness and having and enjoying the peace, but also realizing it's a different type of living.
Yeah, the quietness can be loud. It can
Yes,
be
very,
really,
very much so, very much so.
really, really loud. When did you begin to sense that there might be a bigger purpose behind like this pivot and what's been happening?
Um, I think it was just having that feeling. I did like a retreat in the summer
Hmm.
and I had to step away and I'm upstate, so I'm just enjoying the feeling of like the the waves, the boats and ships that they pass by up the Hudson and just sitting by and just listening to that and watching that and writing. So I really poured into my writing, took walks. So I did those things and it really helped me to like be at peace with myself and be honest with me. And like what am I doing? Why what is my existence? Why am I here? The
Mm,
people that I love, they're gone. There are people that are here that I love are still here and they're able to deal with life as it comes. What is my purpose here? And having to like search, do that deep dive search. And there's still questions that I have for myself, but at least I know more than I did, you know, 3 or 4 years ago. Because I was defined by my caregiving. I was defined by this is what I was doing for someone else. When
mm,
you take that away from you, and that's something that I think parents, both father and mom, when your kids grow up and they leave, what are you? Who are you? How do you define yourself? Like, and outside out with absence of them, you have to be something more than a parent. Like, what do you like? How do you deal with that emptiness, that empty nesting, that empty space? And so that's what I had to come to grips with. That's what made like the reality check. And then that call of me having to leave, that spoke volumes. It was like, okay, I need to like move to another place to be able to establish my new chapter of like, this is the new part of me.
mm.
It's the new part of me. And then like last year turned 50. So I'm like, hey, this is like, it was just, it's all synchronized. Like this new chapter at 50. What do I do now?
Chat, if you with me, type 50 where in the chat if you agree with me. Well, no, audience, if you're listening, as you're listening, if you have ever asked yourself that same question, like, why am I here?
Hmm.
Drop on me in the chat. I think thank you. Was it one fella Kiwi? Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yes.
Thank you. But if you've ever asked yourself, like, why am I here? Drop
Mhm.
on me in the chat. Um, we do see We do have an amen choir here tonight. I think that's one of the, I think that is an indicator with
Yes.
exercising a little bit of wisdom now that I'm on the other side of several pivots, right? I
Mhm.
think that is a real time indicator of a defining moment that's on the
Mhm.
horizon.
Yes.
When when you start looking for the answer, you will find it.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think we find that it was always there. We just weren't looking for it.
Yeah.
But the moment
The moment you
the
find
student
it,
appears, the teacher is ready.
exactly. The moment you find it, that's the moment that you it's like it was all there all along. Like
Oh,
my best friend,
oh,
he has found his purpose. He's found his thing and it was in front of him all along, but he just didn't he needed time to pour into it, to test it out, to just figure it out. And when he like Eureka, he called me, and I'm like, yes, you got it, dude. I don't understand all of it because I'm not that scientific, and I'm not that deep in the weeds of things. But when that moment you realize, okay, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing, and then you start thinking about your future. So your near future, as you know, you want to retire, so you want to pour more of your time into the thing that you really want to do, the thing that
yeah,
that consumes your thoughts, that consumes your ideas and your brain space. You want to be able to do more of that and less of the other stuff, even though it's important, like having a day job. But this is where the connection I have with you. It's like you're putting people in that right mindset to get them to think, okay, let's shift into the space of where you want to be and put a timetable on it to really get you into that. I'm doing this 100%.
yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now.
And how does this show up in your space with your clients? Like, how does this whole concept around or reality around like pivots happen?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a matter of time. If it hasn't happened, it's just a matter of time, right? How does
Mhm.
it show up for your clientele in the work that you do?
I bring them back to their origin. Like, when did they think about this business? When did they imagine it, and the why? What was the clear moment that made them want to do it?
Mhm.
And then once you bring them back to that, you let them stay in that space for a little bit, hang in there for a little bit to remember that feeling. And then let's talk about, like, here, what are some things that you want to do right now? Because that feeling of elevation, that feeling of peace, and that feeling of knowing this is what I love to do, and it's helping whoever is helping you, your sibling, your best friend, you, another person that you saw them, on a weight journey, and your product, or your thing, your service is helping people in that space. Have them feel that again, because sometimes we get so lost in the monotony of doing the things, the tasks,
Yes.
and forget about the origin of, like, where we were when we found that what and that why,
Yes.
and you forget about that. And so that I try to get them to go to that space before we jump into action plans and and due diligence and, like, ideation. Like, before we jump into all of that stuff, talk about what is the basis, the core of your business, of your brands.
And you know what you said?
Wait. I think am I the only one here? I think I am. There must be some issue with her Connection. Wait, did I lose connection? Mm. You all right?
Can you hear
It,
me okay?
yes, it was it me?
No, 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 it wasn't. My external camera disconnected for some reason. So sorry about
Okay. No
that.
worries, no worries. I
Oh
got
my goodness.
I got my amen corner. She just texted me.
Yes, thank y'all. You saw me in the chat. I'm like,
Thank
oh
you.
my goodness. But so what I
Thank
was
you,
getting ready
Ife.
to say
Mhm.
was one of the things that came up when with what you just shared was sometimes the premature pivot.
Yes.
So sometimes like we have to like we're being forced to pivot, life is happening, like we got to do what we got to do. And then there's times where we plan to pivot, but then there's sometimes when the purpose assignment
Mm.
has gotten uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes.
And so we pivot prematurely instead of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that or worked with somebody who's been in that same space?
Well, I was with this brand, with this business. I pivoted to this without really knowing what my who was and what I did. So I knew my why. I knew that I wanted to work with black and brown businesses, and I wanted to focus on their launches and when they want to shift their vision. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know in what way, what's the way, what's my unique way that I'm doing it. So it took a few clients, a lot of retreats, a lot of deep thinking, inner work to figure out, okay, this is how I'm doing. This is my recipe, and how do I
Mm-hmm.
deliver this service, and how do I bring people to this space. And I only need, to be honest, a conversation, 10-15 minute conversation. That's all I need to really be able to pull you in and say, okay, we need to talk more, because it's not about me selling. It's not about me selling this idea or trying to convince you of something. Is me talking with you about what matters most to you. What is the heart of you? And you wanting to, like, let's do a part two of this conversation.
Chante said, I'm not new to it. I'm true to it. All I need is
They,
15 minutes. All I
that's
need
all
is
you
15
need. That's
minutes.
all you need. And I didn't go to marketing school. I didn't. I'm a finance person, operations person. I am not like trying to, but I'm a storyteller. I'm an artist. So
Mm,
if I can't I can definitely, like, I listen to you. I figure out, like, what are you telling me and what are you not telling me,
right.
and then come up with, this is what I'm hearing. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's it. Like, if we're not on the same page, then we're not, because I realize there's certain businesses that we're not going to gel. We're not a match,
Yeah.
and it's okay. That happens. I'm sure that has happened to you. Like, you just realize it's just not going to click. You're not going to be able to help them, and they're in a different space than where your clients normally are. And it's
Right.
okay. That's just understanding that and realizing that, and that takes maturity and enough being an effective brand leader to know that this is not going to work. But I also know that, okay, that person's, there's a place for them. So I recommend people. I give them resources. I'm not going to, like, shoo them away. I'm just going to say, like, this is not a good fit, but here are some things that can help you along the way.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So speaking of like your zone of genius, I
Mm.
love the way that you put everybody on notice. Like, I'm not new to it, I'm true to it.
Yes.
What would you say is your ideal client in this season and what are they navigating right now?
Um, I think they're navigating just that shift. They're navigating, like, they're being true to themselves. Like, either that's the pre pivot, or it's They're afraid of the new. They're afraid of, okay, can I do this? That confidence is lacking. That belief in their what their belief, like what their dream is, what their vision is not fully realized. And so I'm there to help you, guide you through that. You may know 80% of what you know, but then there's 20% that is standing in between you and achieving a higher level for your business. And I can help you get there.
And are they new in business, seasoned?
They're a little bit of both. So I focus on people that are ready to just shift, whether it's shifting into being an entrepreneur, because they've been doing this service, they're doing this product for so long, but they
Mhm.
haven't formed it into a business yet. So I'm helping them navigate that world, which is so new to them. And then it's you've been doing this business for a decade and you're not growing. What's the problem? What's going on here? I need to grow my whether it's cash flow or I want to go into a storefront, but I'm afraid. What should I do? And so it's change. It's getting to the space of change, and that's where I could definitely add that value to folks who want to shift into being an entrepreneur and giving them the reality check of their life. And two, they've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but they're just not they're uncertain of the future of their business. And I don't want them to fail. I want them to thrive.
What's something that your ideal client is currently believing that's probably not serving them?
Is that they have to do it alone. They don't they got it. I'm a solo entrepreneur. Oh gosh, I hate this word. Hustle hard. This was back in the 2000s, early 2000s. Hustle hard, hustle 24/7. I'm like, no. No. You don't need to be on all the social media platforms. You don't need to be posting every day. You don't need to be blogging every day. You don't need to be like it's just so overwhelming thinking about
Mhm.
like what they think that they're supposed to be doing and what
Mhm.
versus what they should be doing.
You talked about this a little bit. You kind of like mentioned it. I caught it because I have
Mhm.
an ear for it, but I want to ask you like straight up about it. So, what makes Uplift to Thrive unique? And what keeps your clients coming back?
Um we got jokes. We tell stories and but seriously what makes them come back is I'm very transparent and real with them. Like I don't sugarcoat things. I hold them accountable. I give them homework. Yes, I do give my clients homework. Um but also I'm an empath, so I do feel um what they're I understand what they're going through. I may not understand it 100%, but I sympathize and empathize. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's make space for it. So when I do my sessions, I always have a space like booked for you want to share anything, you want to like what's going on in your world, because all of that impacts your business, all of that impacts how you move and navigate, your sales conversations, your strategy sessions with your team, how you show up in the world,
Mhm.
as the face of your business. If you're not 100%, if you're not good, if you're not well, then it's going to have a negative impact. Um, I would ask these questions, or we would have it through our conversations. I realized, okay, did you take a break today? Did you write in your journal? Did you take a walk? Did you walk? I mean, I'm sure you walked your dog, but did you walk you? Did you go to the cafe? Did you go to the spa? Are you planning another trip? What are you doing to
Yeah.
give yourself that space to just breathe? Because a lot of times I realize that I was on the track of yogi is another conversation, but I was trying to become a certified yogi instructor. And so one of the things that we learned is stillness and mindfulness. That peace also brings some ideas into your space that you didn't realize it, because that's your intuition speaking. That is, and it could be just if you're spiritual, it could be God talking to you. But
Mhm.
you're free because you need to be still for that voice, that idea to come about. You're always moving and working. Your mind is so busy and so full of other things. How can it how can that inner voice speak out and you hear it?
Yeah. You have, I bet you something else that probably flies under the radar, but is super impactful in the work that you do with your clients. It's just like your disposition. You
Hmm.
have this very like calming presence about you that I'm pretty sure anybody that is undergoing a pivot of some sort or navigating change, um, that is very uncomfortable, like having just kind of like a serene but strong and expert voice, just the way that you are packaged, right? The way that you show up, and like you're unflinching, right? But
Hmm.
don't let it fool you. You are
Ugh.
forced. You are forced to be reckoned with, right?
Right.
But while maintaining your cool. So I could be over here spazzing out and crashing out, right? But you're going you're gonna
Eh,
bring that balance for me.
right. And that's okay. Like if I have clients that have done that, that have spazzed out, that have like said, "Oh my gosh, I'm like losing it or I'm tired and or I'm going through." I'm like, "You know what? That's okay. That's your reality. That's part of being an entrepreneur. You're going to
Yeah,
feel these feelings." And I've learned that through yoga that you have to recognize those feelings and embrace them, but
yeah.
not let them overtake you. Like be able to say, this is reality. There are things you cannot control. There are things that's within your control, which is your emotions. And so you have to see, like, how am I going to react to that person? I've had people say like really not so cool things to me, and I just inhaled, exhaled, and said, this is they're going through something right now. I don't know what it is, but it's not me that
Yeah.
is doing it. It's something that's going on with them. Now, I usually just either if it's a stranger, I walk away, change, if I'm on the train, change the car or whatever. But if it's someone that I know, I try to rationalize, try to talk with them, but if they're in that emotional high level, high intensity emotional space, they're not going to hear you. They're not going to listen to anything because whatever you say is wrong.
Mm,
And so you have to just know that you're in charge of your emotions. And for me, I can't shout, I can't yell. I mean, I think that part of that is because I was a caregiver and I had to realize that person in front of me is not my grandmother. That person
mm,
in front of me is not the person who raised me, who helped me through my upbringing. That is early dementia. That is just her illness talking.
mhm,
And that was a hard part. That's why I needed to lean on my friends for support, because it was like, okay, am I going crazy? What is happening right now? So that's why I'm so like, I may be chill, I may be calm, but it's like I'm trying to process what's happening, what's going on.
mhm.
And that I don't want to say, you don't want to say the thing that you will regret saying for the rest of your life. You don't want to be in that space because that's like not a
Yeah.
space to be in. And so I try to be that space, that safe space for my clients always. I may share their experiences just as a learning tool for other, but I wouldn't say, okay, it's this person, that business owner told me this. Like I'm not going to go that far, because what they say to me in private stays that way.
I'm willing to bet that that's one of your superpowers.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet, because not everybody has the ability to navigate life that way.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So as we start to wind down our conversation, which I have thoroughly like enjoyed, what would you say to the person who in this season, I say along with us, not just you,
Yes. Yes.
along with us, because I feel like my life is one big pivot, but I digress.
Hmm.
What would you say to that exact person who feels blindsided by a pivot that's either underway or on the horizon?
I would say this has helped me is that uncertainty doesn't mean that you're not qualified to do the work, to step up to it. It just means that you need to give yourself space, you need to give yourself grace, and you need to pour into it. Like really think it through. Really give yourself some brain power towards like, is this where I need to be, and how do I need to get there? Even if you don't know it all, okay, read some books, go to YouTube University, or go to Danielle the coach, and
Or
figure
Chante
out,
Ramsey.
yes, or to figure things out, because it could be just a that disconnect, that like that little bridge, and we are the bridge to them, for them feeling and knowing that they're in this space for a good reason through this pivot. So I think it's okay to not have it all. It's okay to not be fully certified on something. It's okay to not know have all the answers. That's what life is about. It's about growing into the person that you envision that you will be and become. So, yeah.
The journey, the
Yeah.
journey. I
Yeah.
promised y'all at the top of our
Mhm.
conversation that I was bringing on someone who knew a little bit about, or maybe a lot of it about, there being a purpose behind the pivot, right? And Shantae
Mhm.
came when she said, "Ask me how I know, D. Ask me how I know." And I think it's
Seriously.
clear that Shantae knows. So,
Mhm.
audience, chat, do me a favor and drop Shantae knows in the hashtag Shantae knows for me in the chat, especially if you were picking up what she's putting down tonight. So
Yeah.
Shantae, what is next for you and Uplift to thrive?
So the next thing I'm diving into, we're gonna be working with nonprofits and schools, doing some strategy, planning, goal setting. I love it. I'm like, this is what I always wanted to do, but I do it with business owners. So this is a nice new space that I'm bridging out to in the next month, and then deepening our cohort programming work. So actually working with more than one business owner at a time to help them uplift their businesses. I love uplift their businesses to the next stage, regardless. We did a cohort at the crib in East New York. Shout out to Fele Quelle. She's there. so she gave me that opportunity. We worked together last fall with 12 businesses, and they are just on the move, moving and shaking in East New York. So I definitely
Nice.
want to do more of that cohort work, um, and see what pathways that takes me with this business.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. I love it. How can viewers contact and keep in touch with you?
So one is going to our Uplift to Thrive Consulting .com business website, and then subscribing to our Thrivers playbook. So by subscribing to our mailing list, you get that playbook every month. So it's resources, it's gems I drop by topic. This week we have like a special daily challenge reminder of like, your what, your why, your who, and your how, and then book a strategy session with us. And I do have another coach, so sometimes we'll do a double team depending on the need. Um,
Yeah.
and we help you to build the next chapter for your business with clarity. So I'm actually dropping my first ebook. So I'm excited about that to my subscribers. So if you're on the list, you get the ebook. It's a mix between an autobiographical snippet of my life as it is at this point, and is also
Okay.
helping you with your purpose journey as well. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna send you a copy because I'm like, you definitely, because you inspired me to like get back to writing it. I started writing it last year, and I paused, and it was because I wasn't ready to finish the final chapter.
Get it.
So
I
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. That is no small feat. Creating anything, let me tell you something. As
Hmm.
a creator, as a creative, and knowing just how cumbersome and
Hmm.
how taxing it can be to make something out of nothing,
Hmm.
you have my deepest, most heartfelt respect.
Yeah.
And
Thank
I
you.
know, like, hey, there's more of that to come, and so much. There's even so much respect that I have for you for submitting to the pause, which is interestingly enough, that's the first chapter in my book. It's the power of the pause. Like
Mhm.
the pause can change everything, right? If you get still, like you were saying,
Right.
still enough so that you can hear what you need to hear,
Exactly.
and be sure that you're hearing from who you need to hear it from, and not moving in our own might,
Mhm.
as well. So I'm really excited for all that is on the horizon for you. You look good. You don't look like what
Thank
you've been
you.
through.
Oh my gosh. Same
You
you
over there
too.
glowing and take off all the snow. I wanted a
Oh my
little bit
gosh.
more snow, and we did get some snow here in Richmond, but it was wet snow, so it didn't stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was
I
grateful.
gladly FedEx some down to you because I'm like I finally was able to thankfully to my landlord was able to get out of my door, like the building,
Okay.
because it was like 2 feet or some change at
Oh,
yeah, it was just in a lot. And we get supposed to get
wow.
more this week. So this is humbling to everyone.
Really?
Yeah, we're supposed to get more up here. So it's
Wow.
very humbling to everyone to like, okay, you need to like enjoy your home. Make sure
Yeah.
you're prepared. Preparation is important. And like don't rely on these, I'm telling you right, these delivery DoorDash people. They are people too. They are navigating what you're navigating as well out in those streets and unplowed streets, mounds of snow. Don't do that to them. Try to like not order if you don't have to order out. Cook.
Yeah.
Get in tune with your pantry and your recipe book.
That part. And
Yes.
on that note, we are going to wrap this edition of Ask Me How I Know with Danielle, the coach. Chante, you are nothing short of amazing. I am grateful that our paths crossed. Shout out to Nicole Murphy and Barbara
Yes.
Black because that is the reason why our paths crossed.
Mhm.
If you're interested in more information on that, you can reach out to me or Chante. Pretty sure we both have influencer links, that you can use to explore and join, on the platform wherever this this stream has gone live, whether you're catching the replay. Our contact information is in the description of the stream. But if you have any questions, we're just a DM away. Shantae, I'm grateful for your genius. I'm
Oh, thank
grateful for
you.
your time. I don't take it lightly that you made time for me and came over to Danielle the Coach Land to share your wisdom and your genius. And you brought your tri-state crew with you. Thank y'all
Yes.
for being here, laughing in the chat.
Woo.
Y'all made it wouldn't have been the same without y'all.
Yes,
For
yes, they're
sure.
amazing. They are amazing. Oh yeah, ladies color. Yeah, we color coordinated. It wasn't on purpose. We
Right.
didn't do the like what you wearing, girl. We didn't do that.
Right. That part. And so last but not least, you can find me at Danielle the Coach on all platforms. You can my website is daniellethecoach.com. And if you are a seasoned career professional that is looking to make a pivot of your own, into full-time entrepreneurship, or you are looking to create a new reality for yourself and you don't quite have the space or community to support you and hold you accountable with that, I would love to have you join my fairly new, time is moving, so we got a little couple months up under our feet. But my Skool community
Mhm.
over on the Skool platform is called, Plan Your Six Figure Pivot with Danielle the Coach. To get there, you can go to the6figurepivot.com, or you can go straight to the Skool platform and search for it there. If you'd like to know more about how you can transition out of your 9 to 5 without regret, you can get my book, The Six Figure Quitter, at the6figurequitter.com. Or you can go to quitwithoutregret.com and take advantage of a free training that I have created just for you. I will see you in the next Ask Me How I Know with Danielle the Coach.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye everyone.